Okay, I'm back for another video. I just made a video on how to select cap size in detail, so if you want to look at it, you can check my other videos out, and I have a lot of other videos on like different payment plans and how to curl toppers, how to style them, and I plan to make many more, so make sure to follow my account, and my website is highlinewigs.com, my Instagram is at Highline Wigs, and I also have a Facebook page, so feel free to check it out. Okay, so this video is going to be specifically on colors and length. So I'll go through length first, that's easy to get through, and then we'll go through colors because it's a little more complicated. So length is, you would just take a measuring tape, again, use a bendable measuring tape, not a ruler, because it needs to be more flexible. I like to measure my cap, my length from the center of the part all the way down. So this one would be 18 inches. The front of it's usually a little bit shorter, so it's about 16 to 17 inches. So if you have like straight hair over here and the sides and everything, because usually people have like a little bit of an angle look, so it's kind of what I do with my toppers. If you have the same length, you should go a little bit longer, and you can get it trimmed a little bit if you need to. In general, you should go a little bit longer because the ends of the hair are raw. So if you get a little bit of a trim, it keeps the hair healthier. You won't need to trim as fast because this hair is raw hair. I haven't cut it. This is just how it is cut from someone's head. So this is how I get them in the braids or the ponytails. So it's healthy. The hair I use is very healthy, but giving a hair trim to start will save you getting a trim a little bit later on down the line. For example, my full wig needed a trim. I didn't trim it right when I got it, but I did trim it about a few weeks ago, which is making it healthy. But it's good to go get it a little bit longer at first, and then give it a trim when you get it, so you could just, not have to rush to get it trimmed later. I also suggest getting a cut, like frame to the face, because sometimes when you just put these on, it's just like blah. Some people can pull it off. Some people, my personal pieces sometimes are just like straight. I'll cut a little bang on each side or whatever. But it just looks nicer when you frame it onto your face. You'll feel more comfortable. You'll feel more like you when you have like either a bang or a side bang or some face framing layers or angles cut into it. It just what better for you. But again, if you don't want to, that's fine. Hopefully in the future, I will stock some pre-cuts. I have done that a couple of times, but I just don't have a decent amount of stock now. So I just like leaving them all pretty much one length so that people can get them cut as they wish. Okay, so back to length. You would measure your own hair. I'd go like this from the center part down, and I would just measure like this. My bang piece right now is about 12 inches. So if your hair is all 12 inches, you'd go 12 inches. But if, let's say, your hair, which is like up to here, then you go for 23 inches. Again, it's better to go a little bit longer than shorter because sometimes you don't measure right, and it's better to just get an inch or two longer and have it a little bit longer than your own hair than to have it shorter than your own hair. You never want the topper to be shorter than your own hair. You want it to be either at the same length or a little bit longer. If you get it at the same length, you're going to have to remember, though, that your hair will grow and you're going to have to keep on going for constant cuts and trims. So I do like to suggest having the topper a little bit longer, or an inch or two longer than your own hair. Please measure your hair length, because there's so many times people think that their hair is like 16 inches, but really it's 22 inches or it's 20 inches. You're probably thinking maybe extensions that are 16 inches because you put extensions from like here, and that would be 22 inches about when you have them long, but you're putting the topper from the top. So you have to remember that you're measuring from here all the way down. So around here would be 23 inches, here would be around 20 inches, 18 inches, 16 inches, 14 inches. On every person, it is different, so don't even look at my pictures on Instagram, because someone with a 14-inch topper or wig could be like this, and some people could be like this. Everyone's bodies and, everyone just is different. We're made differently. So please measure your own head, your own hair, to know what length you need. Okay, next, color. So color is really complicated. It shouldn't be complicated, but it just is. If you've ordered from other companies before, such as John Renault, I know they have a completely different color system. They're like number 6 is like my number 2. My colors are pretty much general with like the rest of the wig lines, but I just know that there are some companies out there that have their colors like completely different than the rest of the world. So, or the rest of the other topper wig makers. So if you're telling me that you wear currently a color 8, that could be a color 4 for me. So it's better to send me pictures, or it's better to send me a hair sample of your own hair, or an extension that you wear, or a topper that you've worn before, or a snippet. I would need about this much hair, the snippet, just enough for me to measure. It's best to get it from the top down, take it like from underneath or whatever, because usually the bottom of your hair is going to be lighter than the top of your hair. But usually I like taking pictures of my pieces in good lighting so that they're the most accurate. Of course, everyone has different monitor settings, everyone has different eyes, everyone can see things a little bit differently, so it won't always be perfect, which is why I have an exchange policy. I have 3 days to return or exchange, so if it doesn't work for you the first time, hopefully we'll find a better match for you the second time. So you can go for an ombre type, like this. Your hair underneath does not need to match 100%. It's just that if you have a thicker bottom hair, you'd want to go for a bigger cap because you'd want to make sure that the topper hair will sort of blend in with the back of your hair. Because the problem is that not the front. I was saying in my other video with the cap size, it's usually the back, because the back is where the topper stretches and splits, and then in between the hairs you'll be able to see your darker hair or your lighter hair underneath. So you kind of want to make sure that it is close enough to your own hair. If you plan to wear something like this all the way to the front, then it doesn't really matter so much what your hair looks like underneath from the top. If you plan to wear it 2 inches behind, then you're going to want to make sure that it's pretty close. Toning is usually, you need to know if your hair is warm, neutral, ashy. Usually with human hair pieces, ashy is a little bit difficult to do, especially for browns. I don't know why, it just doesn't catch so well, the browns. And if we make it too ashy, sometimes it has like a very gray appearance, which I don't really like doing, so I like keeping it at a warm or neutral toning. Again, these pieces can be adjusted. I wouldn't suggest, for example, if you thought this was blonde in the picture and you want to make it, a shade lighter or blonde, I would not suggest lightening the whole entire thing. Reason being, I've already lightened this piece before, and lightening a second time will dry out the hair. It may catch, but it will dry out the hair, so I do not suggest doing it. If, for example, you want to have a balayage style on this, I wouldn't suggest really lightening so much of the bottom. If you want to add a few more pieces of blonde to it, that's fine. It usually does catch if you take it to a professional hairdresser. I would not suggest using box dyes on my pieces, but I just heard that they dried out, so better to use professional salon dyes. So I would do a reverse balayage kind of thing, like if you want to go, let's say you want to have your own piece custom colored. So you can go for a dark piece and you want to have blonde added to the bottom. I would actually suggest going for a lighter hair color and having the top darkened than having the bottom all lightened, because again, they have been dyed before, they have been, color treated, so it could dry it out. I have many of my clients who color their pieces. I don't know how they tell me that it's, dries it out a bit, but they don't mind it. But I still don't like to suggest lightening them. I say, again, if you want to, add a few more platinum lights to this, or add a few more highlights going upwards on this, if the ombre is a little bit too dark and you want to, add a few more lights to it, that's fine. But I wouldn't suggest lightening the entire piece. Let's say you want the bottom to be all platinum. You shouldn't lighten this whole piece. Reason being, this does not grow on our heads and the hair is not getting any nourishment. You should be using an oil treatment on the bottom, spraying a Moroccan oil or an argan oil every few days to keep the bottom nourished. But that's basically color. So you can send me a sample of your hair color. I would need a sample something like this, just so I could be able to match. I think anything else I wanted to talk about regarding color. Said that they can all be darkened if needed to be. You don't have to worry about the scalp being stained. It's actually made with the material that does not allow the scalp to absorb any dye. I've actually only heard one time from someone that the topper got stained, I can choose a box dye, something that's cheap. Again, I would highly suggest using a salon dye quality coloring system. And yeah, that's basically it. You just have to use your best judgment on color. If you need help, you can send me pictures. I can try my best to help you out. But again, they could be tweaked. If you see a piece that you like online that is a little bit lighter than what you want, you can add low lights, you can add rooting. They can be tweaked. Because if I custom make one for you, I don't mind doing so, but it won't always come out to exactly what you want, and it's about a 3 to 4 month process to get it done. So buying an in-stock piece would be better for both of us. So it's better to try tweaking the piece versus custom ordering. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is highlinewigs@gmail.com. I answer pretty slowly these days, but I will get back to you. I don't ignore anybody. And yeah, make sure to follow my Instagram, Highline Wigs, and my website is highlinewigs.com. Have a good day, guys. Bye.